We've got a big one today, guys. We've sold the Mineplex branding. And to be crystal clear about what we've sold, we've only sold the brand Mineplex, the trademark, and the old server assets. We did not sell our new infrastructure platform as well as our, current clients and the things that we're doing. But I want to do a video explaining everything that's going on because obviously this is a big deal. We got to talk about it, right? And I want to be fully transparent with the Mineplex community as well as like some of the other people in the space that have tweeted me over the last, year or two being like, where's Mineplex? I guess these guys took people's money and ran. Let me preface by saying this. The ownership team at our company did not take 1 cent in over 2.5 years. Every dime that's come into the business has gone right back in, and we're really, really excited about some of our future partnerships that we can't talk about yet as they have not been announced, and we still need some time to do the build. But I want to do a brief recap and let the player base know kind of what happened and what went on, just with full transparency here. So, to my new modern people, what is Mineplex? Mineplex is one of the biggest Minecraft servers in the world. It's where I started as a kid when I was maybe 15 or 16. Jesus, it was a long time ago. And it was amazing. Like, it was one of the best Minecraft servers to ever exist. It was one of 5 or 6 featured servers within the Bedrock client, and one of the first featured servers to actually come to Bedrock in 2018. When I bought the company, or I bought the assets of the company specifically, we were told that we were going to get onboarded again onto the featured server list. But however, when Mojang, we got in contact with them after the buy, they told us that not only was the Mineplex player base, quote unquote, cannibalized by other servers, that we would have to go through that application process again and go through some extra hoops because of how things were left off. We understood, this is why I made my quitting Overwatch 2 video, because I was under the impression that, we're going to have to come in here where we still have 1 to 3K concurrent players and start running this thing today, right? Like, that was the impression that we were under. But Mojang told us, even though we were capable, we within hours were able to save everyone's player data. Of the 42 million logins that Mineplex had on Minecraft Bedrock, we had, with the last seconds, literally the last seconds of the deal, were able to get in and stop a data wipe that would have wiped everything. Despite us having the ability to relaunch the server, Mojang was not happy with how things were left, I guess, and so they took it out on the Mineplex players by saying that we could not launch again, which they were in their right to do, to be clear with you. They had the right to do that. So we said, okay, we will reapply and do what we have to do. They told us we had to rebuild our platform and we could come back and apply again. 3 or 4 months later, they reached back out to bring us back into the application process, and we said, okay, this is a business critical decision for us. Can you guys commit to letting us through this? Are we sure that this can happen? They said yes. We met with a lot of people and we did our build for them. We pivoted our build and our investment into building for the Bedrock platform, as that's where 90% of the revenue for the business was. Unfortunately, skipping a lot of the middle ground here, right when we were at the end of the process in 2024, we were about to be onboarded. We were sent onboarded documentation. We were told, well, we weren't told. We were supposed to have our playtest in July, and we were ghosted and did not hear from Mojang at all in July. Then August went by, September went by, and finally in October, we sent an email like, hey guys, we're ready. What's going on here? It's been months. To which they replied that the onboarding process had been indefinitely suspended and that we no longer moved the needle for them after we invested our players, fundraising that we raised into the build for Mojang to get back to our featured server spot. We were, disheartened and confused as to what could have changed, but it wasn't a personal thing with Mineplex. We were told that onboarding for the third-party server list had been indefinitely suspended, and that if we hadn't heard from our original contact in December, that we would then hear back in January. A very on brand, after that, they did not get back to us at all until I sent an email June later that year. The bottom line is the reason why there's not a forward-facing Mineplex server right now to the general players is that Mojang rug pulled our build and our application process at the very end. We probably most certainly would have had a release in 2025 if that was the case. So what we ended up pivoting to do was what our phase 2 plan for the company was, in that, we want to be a cloud infrastructure company, supplying engineering tools, doing the heavy lifting for people who want to build experiences, not just in Minecraft, but in other games as well, by handling server orchestration, matchmaking, database storage, pretty much everything that makes engineering a pain. We set up building blocks to expedite game development and just help people with that load. We'll have way more detailed announcements on all of this stuff later, but we've been working with several big creator partners in the past year, and we've doubled down on what our cloud goal is, and we have some big ones coming up that we're super, super excited for. So the big reason we considered an offer for selling the Mineplex brand is that after all of those things happened, like building the server just wasn't a priority for us anymore. What was paying the bills were our cloud engineering contracts, and we were growing that side of the business, so we were really excited about it. We wanted to double down on what was working for us instead of going back and dealing with all the confusion as to what was going on with Mojang and if we would get a straight answer or whatever was going on. We decided on what would work for us. And we've got a lot of really exciting partnerships coming up that we're going to talk about. But this is also what's best for the Mineplex players, right? You guys deserve to have people who, will want to even build the classic version of the server. That is what players want. That is what the Mineplex brand is. And I think the worst thing that we could have done was force something out the door that wasn't Mineplex. I care a lot about Mineplex. Now, I will say, there is one game that I've worked on the last 2 years that will still release as its own independent studio, Better PvP. There'll be more info on that. I'm sure I'll retweet the trailer or something when it drops. But to all you clans players out there, you are going to get what you wanted from that update to those of you who were playing clans on our open beta. To be clear as well, we delivered on everything that we had to for payments as well. Like, we posted our open betas. There were numerous clans maps, which was the biggest game on Java that we had. And those things did come out and were fine. But there was never a full holistic release of the Mineplex server, which I really wish we could have done, but that's just not how the cards fell. And it kind of is what it is there. So we're super excited to rebrand in the cloud. You guys are going to get your server, but I really wanted to make this video and be as transparent with you guys as possible because listen, I've had people tweeting me saying it's a scam. Again, our ownership team took literally not one penny. Our owners have not taken one penny, and these are the guys who did some of the most heavy lifting on our infrastructure and our build. We stayed committed to doing the right thing, and we didn't take 1 cent for 2.5 years. So I just want to address, because some people were tweeting me being like, they scammed. It was another pump and dump. No, the reason why you guys did not see a live server was because Mojang pulled the plug on us, which was very unfortunate. But it is what it is. I'm not falling on that sword anymore. But yeah, we're so excited for what's to come next, guys. Nothing on an operational end is changing on our side, but all you Mineplex players like me, you guys are going to have a chance to get that server again that you really, really wanted, and I wish we could have gotten out to you guys, but extreme circumstances are extreme circumstances, and it is what it is. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. This is just a full what's going on video without too many details, and yeah, be looking forward to our big rebrand as well as our first really, really big, well, we already had one pretty big public-facing project, but we're super excited for what's to come next. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care. Much love. Peace out.